So a few more 2 questions and then we'll see 3 marker and 4 marker, whatever it is. So find the values of a and b for which the following system of linear equation has infinite number of solutions. So infinite number of solution is what they have asked. We have to find out the values for a and b. So how are we going to proceed? They have been given 2 equation, equation number 1 and equation number 2. Using this you have to find out the values of a and b. Only given hint is that it is having infinite number of solutions. Suppose if they have given as infinite number of solution, we know how to write it in ratios format. That is arithmetically comparing with ratios, we can write in such a manner wherein a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. That is, all are going to be equal. Now it is just that from these 2 equations I have to substitute the values. a1 is going to be equal to 2, a2 is going to be equal to 2a. Similarly, b1 is 3 and b2 is a plus b, and so C1 is going to be minus 7 and C2 is going to be minus 28. Right. In the same manner, if we are going to proceed, 2 divided by 2a is equal to 3 divided by a plus b is equal to minus 7 divided by 28. So when I am just doing with that, 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So when I just substitute everything, I'll be getting, that is, you have to substitute this with this. Minus and minus gets cancelled. Right. So 1 by a is equal to 7 upon 28. So therefore a is going to be equal to 4. Right. Similarly, this 3 upon ab, 3 upon a plus b is equal to 7 upon 28. I have to cross multiply this and then find the answer. I already know what is my value of a. So 3 into 28 is equal to 7 into a plus b. 3 into 28, 28, 3, 24, 84. So 84 is equal to 7 into, the value of a is going to be equal to 4. Right. So 4 plus b, or else suppose if we just do not multiply this 28, 7 into 4 times also will get 28. So easily if we suppose keep it in the same manner, 28 plus 7b, you can easily solve for this. So when you are solving for this, the final answer we will be getting is b is equal to 8. So the question was supposed to ask what is the values for a and b. So hence we found out what are the values for a and b. Right. Next question. Find values of a so that the following linear equation is having no solution. The previous question which we saw was having infinite solution. So over here also 2 equations have been given, and now we are supposed to find out what is the value of a. So for infinite solutions, a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 but not equal to c1 upon c2. Therefore, when we are just substituting the values, we'll be getting 3a plus 1 divided by a square plus 1 is equal to 3 upon a minus 2 is not equal to minus 2 upon 5. So what are the two things you have to compare first? These 2 things. Just cross multiply this. 3a plus 1 into a minus 2. So a into 3a is 3a square. A into 1, that is plus a. Similarly, minus 2 into 3a is minus 6a. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 2 is equal to, when you just multiply this, 3 into a square is 3a square plus 3. So when you are substituting for this, you will be getting the answer as a is equal to minus 1. Similarly, if you are just equating these 2 things, that is 3 divided by a minus 2 is not equal to minus 2 upon minus 5. When you're substituting for this, you'll be getting 19 upon 2. Shouldn't consider this. Therefore, the value of a is going to be equal to minus 1. Right. Next question. Again over here also 2 equation has been given. Infinite solution, just like the previous question. Before we just saw a question. Over here also everything is equal, that is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. You can see this type of question why I have chosen. See over here, there are three terms. It is just like we have to solve just like the previous question where we solved for this. The question which we solved over here, it was very simpler. It was just one term in my numerator, and even in my denominator it was pretty simple. Even this question also is simpler. It is just that it is having three parts. Even the same manner we are just are supposed to solve, that is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. When I am just solving for that, first I will compare these two things. When I am comparing these two things, I can pretty much easily cross multiply it, or else you can just do it in the other way round also, but it is always recommended you just cross multiply and get that. So when you just solve for this, the equation you will be getting is a minus b is equal to 1. Suppose similarly, when you just first we just compared 1 and 2, that is a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2. Now consider this b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. When we are solving for that, the equation we will be getting is 5a minus 2b is equal to 11. Right. So we have got first equation and second equation. So when we are solving for equation 1 and 2, we will be getting a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 2. So over here a minus b is equal to 1, and over here 5a minus 2b is equal to 11. You can consider either elimination method or substitution method or any method, and you can solve for it and get the values of a and b. Right. The next question is find x and y. They've just given you the diagram, and from this we have to find out what are the values of x and y. So how are we going to do that? See, given the diagram is a rectangle, right? So we know that the opposite sides are going to be equal. That is, if the length we are considering, both the lengths are going to be equal. If at all, if it is the breadth, even the breadths are going to be equal. So over here one breadth has been given and one length has been given. On the other hand side, they have given in the terms of x and y. So we have to compare this and find out the values of x and y. How is it we are going to do this? See, over here x plus y and 12 has been given. Even this x plus y is supposed to be equal to 12, right? So that becomes my first equation. On my other hand side, we know the one hand side is going to be 8. 8 only has to be my AD side also. Therefore, x minus y is what they have given. So x minus 5 is going to be equal to 8. Now that I have two equation, I can easily just use any method. Plus y and minus y gets cancelled. So 2x is equal to 20. Therefore, the value of x we get is going to be equal to 10. Right. Once I get the value of 10, see, it is very simple. I have to x plus y is equal to 12. I know the value of x is going to be 10 and y is what I have to find out. So it is very simple. The value of y is going to be equal to 2. See, x plus y also is supposed to be equal to 12 only. So the value of x we know that is 10. So y is supposed to be equal to 2. Similarly over here. So I have to get 8. Already x is there. It has to be minus y. So minus 2 becomes plus 8. Right. Next, from here it is 3-marker question. So Aftab tells his daughter, 7 years ago I was 7 times as old as you were there. Also 3 years from now I shall be 3 times as old as you will be. Represent this graphically. So usually if at all, if you are supposed to solve for this question, you just find out x and y, that is what is his age. Suppose if you are supposed to find out that, it is very much clearly for 4-marker. Suppose if you have to solve it for graphically also, then it carries extra mark, right? So now we are supposed to solve this graphically. Before that, we will just find out how to crack this basic question. So now Aftab tells his daughter. So there are two persons. One is Aftab and the other is going to be his daughter. Right. So now first and foremost we will consider Aftab be x and daughter is going to be y. Right. 7 years ago. First of all, 7 years ago, what is going to be Aftab's age? Aftab's age is going to be equal to x minus 7. Similarly, daughter's age, that is 7 years ago, it is going to be y minus 7. Right, that was for 7 years ago. And there is also another relation 3 years from now. That is from now 3 years, that is after. So it is going to be for Aftab it is going to be x plus 3, and for daughter it is going to be y plus 3. Right. So what is the relation given now? 7 years ago I was, who is this I? I is Aftab, because Aftab is telling his daughter. So Aftab was 7 times as old as his daughter. That is 7 times, that is x minus 7 is what we have. X minus 7 is equal to 7 times of his daughter, that is y minus 7. So first you have to solve for this equation, and you will be, when you just solve for this, you will be getting one equation. Similarly, 3 years from now, 3 years from now, that is I shall be 3 times as old as you will be. The same type you have to do. See, first this was our equation, x minus 7. Now 3 years later, that is x plus 3, from now on 3 years, 3 times as old as you will be. After 3 years, how much will Aftab's daughter be? That is y plus 3 years she'll be having. So if you solve for this, you will be getting another equation. For example, x minus 7 is equal to 7y minus 49. Right. So now x minus 7y is equal to minus 49 plus 7. So when you're solving for this, you'll get one equation. Right. So similarly, when you're just solving for both the equation, you will be getting different answer, and that is when you have to solve. Right. Next question. On comparing ratios, see, over here also in the same method you have to solve for it. This you will be getting, see, x minus 7y is equal to minus 42. So x minus 7y plus 42 is equal to 0. This becomes my first equation. So similarly, x plus 3 is equal to 3y plus 9. So x minus 3y is equal to 6. So x minus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. So when you're solving for both the equations, x and x pretty much cancels, and you'll be getting the value of y. Using the value of y, you can substitute in either of the equations and get the value of x. Once we get the value of x and y, you have to first so once we get the value of x, that is going to be Afta's age, and the value of y is going to be daughter's age, and this you have to represent graphically. The next question, comparing ratios, that is a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2 and c1 upon c2. You have to find out whether lines representing intersect at a point, or if it is parallel, or is it coinciding. So this types of question is basically for 4 marks, something like that. So now over here you have, there are given two equation. Using this you have to find out if it is going to intersect at a point or parallel or coincide. You have to compare this with the ratio. Suppose if it is intersecting at a point or parallel or coincide, we just know using that table you can just cross verify, which is what. So once whichever is satisfying, you just have to write, but further you have to just show all the three workings, and then you have to write the conclusion for this particular answer. Right. Next question, solve 2x plus 3y is equal to 11 and 2x minus y is equal to minus 24, and hence find the value of m for which y is equal to mx plus 3. So what is unique in this in this particular question? First and foremost, you just have to solve for these two equation. Using any method you can go ahead and solve. Once you get the values of x and y, then what is the next thing you have to find out? You have to find out value of x, m. So you have to find out value of m. Already you have the values of x and y. Just substitute the values of x and y in this equation and you can find out the value of m. Right. Next question. Train covered certain distance. If whenever this distance question comes, it usually be it'll be for 4 marker, because it involves formula also, and few applications is what you have to apply. So this particular question, train covered certain distance. If train would have been 10 kilometer per hour faster, it would have taken 2 hours less than scheduled time. And if it was slower by 10 kilometer per hour, it would have taken 3 hours more than the scheduled time. So what is the distance which is covered? So this is what you have to find out. First and foremost, let's consider the speed is going to be x. So now what is the speed formula? Speed is equal to distance upon time. So speed I have already considered as x. So x is equal to d upon t. So in the question, what is it, the relation they have given? If the train would have been 10 kilometer faster, it would have taken 2 hours less. Right. So this is what it has been given. So d is equal to x into 2. This how did I get? I had written x is equal to d upon t, right? So just d is what I had considered is equal to x into t. Suppose it was running 10 kilometer faster, it would have taken 2 hours less. Right, this is the relation which is given. So speed is equal to distance upon time. If speed was 10 kilometer faster, hence plus 10, and it would have taken 2 hours less, that is minus 2. X plus 10 into t minus 2 is equal to d. I already have one equation, so with this I'll get another equation. So when you solve for both the equations, you will be getting the value of x and t. So x, whatever you find out, it is going to be your speed, and t, whatever you find out, that is going to be your time taken. Right. Next question. ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Find angles. So given this diagram, you have to find out the angles, that is angle A, angle B, angle C and angle D. So how is that you are going to proceed with this? So suppose if at all if hint is not given, here hint is been given that sum of measures of opposite angle in cyclic quadrilateral is going to be 180 degree. This is something you have to remember. If at all if the hint is not given, only this particular diagram is being given, and when you're supposed to solve for the angles, it is just that opposite angles are going to be equal to the sum of opposite angles are going to be equal to 180 degree. Like angle A plus angle C is going to be equal to 180 degree. That is minus 4x plus 4y plus 20 is equal to 180 degree. So you can easily divide everything, divide throughout by 4, you will get one equation. So similarly, angle B plus angle D is going to be equal to 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle C, when you solve for that, you will be getting x minus y is equal to minus 40. And similarly, if you just solve for angle B plus angle D, angle P plus angle D, you will be getting minus 7x plus 3y is equal to 180 degree. So first solve for these two equations, you will be getting the values of x and y. Once you get the values of x and y, just substitute over here. Just to find out the value of a, it is going to be 4 into y. In the place of y, just substitute the angle. So hence the angle a is going to be 4 times of y plus 20. That is going to be a's angle. Similarly, you have to find out for angle B, angle C and angle D. So with this, we complete this particular chapter. So usually every 4 marker is going to have a statement problem wherein you have to solve and crack 2 equations, and then using any method you can solve. Even the cross multiplication is going to hold for 4 marker. So just ensure that you will have a thorough revision before the exam. Thank you, students.